Welcome back to the podcast you always needed, the only show on the internet that empowers men from a balanced perspective of both your inner world and the external reality. Guys, I am your host, Sean Heshmatpour, also known as Sheshan on the internet, proud owner of Sheshan's Life Coaching and Divine Alchemy Brotherhood. I am a truth seeker, a truth teller. Everything I give you on this podcast has been from my own trusted studying of myself, human-to-human connection, my coaching, and observing how it plays out in our physical reality. I'm just waiting for the blue-haired Karen now to be like, yo, source? And there's a lot of sources out there for the stuff that I teach, by the way. And there's also not many for other things that I teach, by the way, because if there was, it would be common knowledge. And if it was common knowledge, my message wouldn't have its purpose in the first place. There's a lot of great Karens out there, and I'm just going to clap my hands right now for the ones that still hold that name fucking proud, baby. For real, the lady who signed me up at the new gym that I joined this week, her name was Karen. Very kind, very efficient on onboarding me while I was on a tight schedule. So shout out to Karen from the gym. I'm all settled here in New Hampshire now, finally. I moved in this past weekend. I dig it here so far. I've only really gone to the gym and walked my dog as I'm recording this episode. But later on in the weekend, this podcast gets released on Friday. So later on in the weekend, I do plan on exploring Portsmouth, maybe Rye Beach, or both, depending on what sort of trouble I get myself into the first couple of days. So hey, I'll definitely keep you guys posted on here and on social media with my time out here in New Hampshire and how I like it, what I like, what I don't like, and just more of relating it back to the things that we talk about on this show. So we got a really deep topic that we need to get into today. And before we even get into that, I want to address some potential confusion. Just one more thing I got to address here. Am I wearing sunglasses indoors? Yes, I am. Why is that? You're not at the beach, Sean. You're recording this on a Tuesday afternoon at the comfort of your own home. Yes, thank you. I am aware of that. Thank you very much. Long story short, I'm having some trouble wearing my contact lenses at the moment. I have some sort of redness that keeps coming up on my left eye. And I'm not sure if it's anything serious or not. I highly doubt it's anything serious. But the reflection of the ring light does come off of my glasses on camera a bit weird, a bit funky. And I said, what the hell? If this reflection is going to keep coming up anyways, might as well wear my prescription sunglasses. I wear them every morning while walking my dog, Bella. And, I like them. They're fucking stylish. So I got an appointment all sorted out for next month. So for the time being, I'll be wearing my shades on this show for the next few weeks until this all gets sorted. And I'll tell you one thing. I love eye doctors. I really do love eye doctors. Here's why I love eye doctors so much. Currently, right now, as you all know, the mainstream healthcare system is getting a lot of shit, as it should, by the way, as it should. But what I like about eye doctors is there's no conspiracies, no corruption that I know of right now as I'm filming this show. Now, this show is being filmed on a Tuesday, it releases on Friday. Whatever corruption arises in the eye doctor, what's it called? In the ophthalmology industry, whatever corruption gets exposed from now, as I'm filming this episode on a Tuesday, till it's released on Friday, I got no clue. It's like, what, 3 days? 3 full days right there? I have no clue. I have no clue if any corruption of the eye doctor industry is going to happen after I release this episode. However, I really like how there's not much chaos in that industry. It's really just the mental health industries right now, chronic illness, gastroenterology, any sort of symptoms and disease that comes from our metabolism and our mind that's getting a lot of heat right now, as it should. There's a lot of corruption going on in there. There's a lot that is being exposed with how these doctors should be showing up for us. And I'm all for it. I'm all fucking for it. And that is something I can get into in another episode. But, I've gone to eye doctors for on and off my entire life, on and off. As a kid, I used to have really itchy eyes. A lot of chaos there. I remember growing up. And then, of course, just getting glasses and vision tests and all that good stuff. It has definitely been a journey. And I've always remembered that eye doctors, for whatever reason, however they have their system structured or whatever they do, it's always like a nice, beautiful, smooth balance between going in and out, getting what you need to get done in there, while also having that care, that curiosity to actually see what's going on in your eyes. That's been my experience with eye doctors, by the way. I can't speak for everybody, but you never hear about the eye doctor getting in trouble on Twitter. You never hear about the eye doctor getting in trouble on Instagram, unless if it's for something like that they did outside of the office, unrelated to what they do for a living. In that case, maybe there has been, but I never hear about eye doctors really dropping the ball. I never really hear about them fucking up and being exposed to this modern day corruption and chaos that exists in mainstream healthcare. So I just want to say, because of that, my heart goes out to the eye doctors. If you have a chance today, you know an eye doctor, you're friends with one, you got a family member that's an eye doctor, just text them and say thank you. Now, if you're driving right now, I advise you to just get to wherever the hell you need to go and then do it. But just show them some love, show them some fucking gratitude. They deserve it. They deserve it, honestly. They really do deserve it. And with that being said, now, well, first of all, I'm going to be thanking my new eye doctor, unless if they get me blind when I show up. If I'm blind after that appointment for whatever reason, then I'm definitely not going to be thanking anybody. But with that being said, I will 100% give them a nice, warm thank you when I go meet with my eye doctor in September. And without further ado, let's dive into the topic for today that so many men, come to me for. And they don't realize they're coming to me for this at a core primal level. And that is their relationship to money and sex. I'm just going to raise the volume of this microphone a little bit. There we go. That is so much better. That is right. Their relationship to money and sex. Now, these men usually don't just come to me flat out and say, Sean, I'm struggling with money. I'm struggling with sex. Because these are very core primal desires that men want. In fact, we can call this, at a more primal level, all they want is to feel confident in their own skin, to create resources and to reproduce. If I went back in time and was coaching a caveman's cognition instead of the cognition of men in the modern world in 2025 like I do today, and if I went back in time and was coaching cavemen, they wouldn't come to me asking for help to make more money or to have more sex. If I was coaching a male caveman, he would want me to help him feel confident in his own skin to create resources and then have the confidence in his own skin to reproduce. Besides our primal need to stay alive, the next two things that you are focused on at a primal level, for example, like a caveman, is resources and reproduction. The feeling within yourself to feel safe in your own skin, powerful in your own body, to be able to create these things in your life. You need the resources to create shelter and have food. Money, food, shelter, warmth are just energy of resources. Money is a human idea created from the energy of resources. You don't put money in your mouth to eat, you use money to buy food. You don't build shelter with dollar bills, although that would be pretty neat. You buy land, rent a roof, or buy a new home with that money. Money is just the byproduct of your ability to create and keep resources. But it comes back to your ability to feel confident in your own skin to create those resources. Same thing goes with sex. Same thing goes with modern day dating. You need to be at a primal level, remind you. You need to be able to reproduce at a primal level, I'll say it again, so you can duplicate your DNA and create a tribe that can support you and your ability to create more resources. No matter how much society has progressed, and we live now today in the modern world, 2025, these primal needs still exist within ourselves. So, this leads us to the question, How does the lack of feeling confident in your own skin to create resources, we'll start with money, play out as a man living in modern day society? Well, it plays out in many different ways, and I'm sure you can relate to them. It plays out by not asking your boss for the raise, because if he or she didn't approve of you or the ask, you are in potential bad standing and may potentially lose your job. This is all subconsciously what you fear that you're not paying attention to when you want to ask for that raise and decide to hide. It also plays out by not speaking up and contributing to team meetings and giving others your incredible ideas at work, because if they laugh at you, if they judge you, if they put you down, you could potentially be at bad standing with others at your job. Again, what does that potentially lead to? Subconsciously, what fear is lingering deep down beneath you? Potentially losing your job, potentially losing your ability, not really your ability, but this is what the mind creates, your ability to create more income for yourself. This also plays out by not searching for new jobs when you know it's time to leave your current one, whether it's in alignment for you, or I should say out of alignment for you, or whether your boss may be abusive towards you. He might be on the abusive end of the spectrum, or she may be on the abusive end of the spectrum, or it's just not the powerful team culture you crave, right? And these are just some examples. It could be for many reasons. All because what if I make less money at the new job? What if I go after what I want and someone finds out? And then I've betrayed the trust of my boss. I'm not in good standing with him. He can't give me a good review. And then, oh no, there goes my ability to make money. Everything is fucked. I'm fucked. Life is fucked. And I'm going to be broke and homeless for the rest of my life, right? Like that's just, that's just like what we've been programmed to believe. We've been believed to behave like good little boys and girls for this greater broken society that we live in. Why? Because if they don't approve of you, you may potentially die at a very primal level. That is what they are showing you unconsciously. Now, let's bring this back to entrepreneurs now, right? Maybe you're just trying to get out of your 9 to 5. Maybe you currently work for yourself and it's been difficult lately. Well, how does the feeling, or I should say the lack of feeling confident in your own skin to create resources play out? You play small, speaking your truth. You play small, sharing your ideas on social media or at networking events. You don't promote your products or services on your platform. Why? Fear of rejection, fear of people laughing at you, fear of people looking at you differently, which could hurt your brand image, which means you might not be able to make money. In the illusion. This is not actually how reality plays out. In the illusion of it. This plays out in fear when you're asking for the sale in the DMs, or on a sales call, or in a meeting, or on a workshop that you worked so very hard on crafting. You followed all the marketing guru strategies, techniques, and you're still not able to close. At that point, it's not just a strategy problem. I hate to shine light on this, but I kind of have to here. It's not a strategy problem at that point. It is your lack of ability to feel confident in what you have to offer. You sit there going over your life strategy, your offer strategy, and you're thinking to yourself, it's my marketing, it's my funnel, it's my guarantees. My guarantees aren't good. Oh no. Just because Alex Hormozy told you to get a guarantee and $100 million offer. Great book, by the way. But what happens when you follow these systems without a sense of self? You outsource your confidence to them. And you just keep going back out there and you test your ideas for another 3 to 4 months just to come back into the same place. All because you were having trouble just feeling confident in your original idea in the first place. You didn't speak about your solutions with conviction. You didn't lead other people to follow you, to follow your ideas. There was hesitancy in your voice. You weren't speaking with power. You weren't fully convicted in yourself, and people can sense that, and they don't follow. And gentlemen, when it comes to dating, this is the same exact dilemma here, and we're going to get onto the dating topic in just a little bit. So why do you feel so uncomfortable in your own skin to ask for the sale, to bring new ideas in the workplace, ask your boss for the raise, go on social media and share your ideas to the world, deliver your own solutions with conviction in your voice? Why does that feel so uncomfortable? Why does that feel so hard? Why does that feel so scary? Because of the programming society has conditioned you to believe about yourself and the world around you. You were taught to play small and be nice, or else other people may feel offended. You are taught to hide certain aspects of yourself, or else people may turn against you. You are taught, don't talk about money with other people. They may get offended by it. And what does this all create? A fear of being able to keep up, survive, and feel a false sense, right? A false sense of belonging with everyone else in the world who is operating under these same psychological conditions that were also given to them by the same society that we all are growing up in, by the way. And what does this all do? Well, it keeps you from being the man who can trust himself so other people can trust him. And because of this, you struggle to lead yourself with confidence, which means other people do not want to receive your leadership at their own unconscious level because they don't trust you, because they can tell you still don't trust yourself. Man, I'm not trying to rip on anybody here. I'm really not. I'm really not trying to fucking rip on anyone here, but I absolutely hate it and genuinely feel fucking bad when other coaches that are newer to the game, semi-experienced enough with their business, are asking me, well, what's your secret, Sean? What sales scripts do you use? What is the funnel? Give me the answers. What's your secret sauce? There's a million. I hate that shit so much, bro. There's a million fucking strategies out there for sales, marketing, and offer creation. And guess what? All of them fucking work. I promise you, all of them work. But people are too focused on the how from the external level, not the how internally. You must find the one that aligns with you, and then all you got to do is cultivate the self-belief to deliver it. Now, I'm not dismissing strategies, by the way. I want to make that very fucking clear for a moment. This podcast is meant to cater those who are focused on their inner world and their external reality. There is a game in strategy. There is a truth to strategy. There is an objective with strategy that clearly works. And yes, tweaking it up, changing things up at times is important. But if you continue to do that without having a strong sense of self, you're always going to be back in square one. And I've seen this in real time with my students, myself even, and so many amazing men out there just trying to get their damn message across, just trying to meet that girl. And this is the wall that they hit. And because their ego is so attached to the old stories, the old identity of themselves, they refuse that this is not the answer. And they do not understand how their own cognition, the way they think about themselves and the world around them, is affecting every single little bit of what they are trying to create in this world. Because they are still trying, they're not simply being it. So you may be asking me right now, well, Sean, how do you create the self-belief to deliver this? Well, I'll get more into that as we talk about dating, because the answer is going to be the same. But you must unlearn those belief systems conditioned into you, those programs conditioned into you by society. From such a young age, you absorb these. Between ages 0 and 25, your mind is very malleable. And by the way, this is the core of what we practice over at my brotherhood, Divine Alchemy, before we focus on any sort of external strategy for you. If that is something that you need help with, if you need help with your internal world, if you want to create the conviction behind the vessel, like if you want to create the conviction behind the person, which is you, and you want to bring in the vessel, I'm using woo-woo language right here. If you want to be able to call in the vessel of your highest potential and have it flow through you, you being the body, the expression of it, to simply say, right, if I'm just going to put this simply, to feel convicted in your own truth and share what you want to share with the world, then click the link in the show notes, chat more with you about your current life situation on our one-on-one Zoom call together. And from there, we'll see what package of Divine Alchemy works for you. Going back to the main point, though, it comes down to self-belief. How does one develop self-belief? Creating new thoughts and narratives about yourself. That's part of the process. The other part of the process is becoming aware of what's blocking you from that and learning when it's time to undo, when it's time to unlearn, when it's time to just be aware, and when it's time to create a new reality for yourself, when it's time to create new perspectives, new stories. Now, how does this play out? The lack of feeling confident in your own skin, right? How does this now play out with dating? How does the lack of feeling confident in your own skin to reproduce, the primal level, play out as a modern man living in society in 2025? Again, your conscious mind probably isn't thinking, I have to raise a family ASAP. I need to reproduce and share my DNA with the world ASAP. I need to duplicate my genetic code as soon as possible. But at a deep primal level, that is what's going on here, guys. That is what's going on here. Yes, do I believe that there is a higher purpose to sexual intercourse as well? Absolutely. But I'm talking on a primal level right now, guys. And that is to simply duplicate your DNA, knowing you are leaving duplications of yourself into this world after you die, and your genetic code continues to play out in this 3D world that we all live in and share. At a primal level, this is what's going on. This is what's happening in your body. So how does the lack of this confidence in your own skin to reproduce on a primal level play out as a modern man? Well, you already know how it plays out in your life. And it plays out by not approaching the woman that you found attractive over at the coffee shop, the bar, the nightclub, the supermarket, wherever you go. It plays out by overthinking what you need to say to her, or what you want to say to her, or what you don't think you should say to her, because God forbid, if the answer is no, you're going to feel like you're not good enough. So, because you don't feel like you're good enough, you get exposed to tactics, pickup artist strategies, and they tell you this is the path, you must follow it, and if you follow it, I promise you that you will get laid and meet the girl of your dreams within a 3-month period, a 12-week program. Or you listen to some red pill guru who is angry at women, tell you to treat them like shit, be disrespectful, and the more you are a cold-hearted prick, the more pussy you'll get, right? You've heard all this crap before. And if you haven't, well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show where I talk about other things that go on in the self-development world as well, unfortunately. And it plays out by also overcomplicating this process. It plays out by overcompensating who you are to make a woman feel attracted to you in your presence. Right now, we're talking about the other side of the spectrum here. This is all what happens when you watch too much fucking Disney at a young age and believe it as your reality. And then, unfortunately, the other side of the spectrum is you end up watching too much porn, and then that just gets absorbed by your subconscious mind as well. I get it. You don't win either way, whether it's through Disney films or through pornography. You don't win. You don't win on either one, on either side of the spectrum. I'm sorry about that. So you might be overcompensating to make a woman feel attracted to you in your presence by maybe giving too many compliments, giving too many gifts, sending her too many texts all the time, all because you want her validation. Because that validation shows you at a primal level, hey, look at me, I can reproduce. Hey, look at me, I can keep the girl and I can reproduce. At a modern day societal level, it will mean that it will all go back to the stories that you are not good enough if it doesn't turn out as you would hope so, both with money and with girls. And because society has conditioned you, especially men, to believe that you are not good enough unless you're the most alpha macho motherfucker in the room, then you're going to feel even worse about yourself because of that conditioning, because you've taken that on as truth. That if all the girls don't like you, there's something inherently wrong with you. If I don't have a 70% closing rate, whatever the fuck a closing rate means with a woman, I'm having a great time today. Whatever the fuck that means, yeah, it just means I'm not good enough because I can't close 70% of women. And this loop feeds into itself over and over and over again until you burn out from the process of dating, until you decide to blame women, blame society, blame everybody else, whether it's for building wealth, whether it's for dating women, and even on a social circle level, even not being able to find like-minded friends. Burnout happens when you keep mentally looking for validation and a sense of security outside of yourself rather than practicing feeling it within as you engage with the process. New students and other guys will ask me, well, Sean, what do you say to women when you are out in public? Again, it's the same fucking thing as a strategy thing. It's the same fucking thing as a strategy thing. Whatever is on my mind and heart in that moment is what I say. I don't use strategies. I don't use pickup technique. I don't use any of that crap. It's energetic energy. transmitted from my state of being. Who am I being in that moment? I say whatever I want to say. And I don't worry about getting it right or wrong. I'm just connecting with the girl. I'm there. I'm present. Whether I'm at the bar, at the coffee shop, the supermarket, walking around the streets, wherever I go. And I do this naturally as the most secure version of myself that I know in that moment. That's in my being in that moment. And that's it. Just like business, there is some value to a strategy though. But strategy without feeling confident in your own skin and in your ability to express yourself, to own your desires, and to follow through on your ideas to meet women and to make money, those strategies don't really mean much at all. Excuse me. They don't mean jack shit. I hate to fucking put it this bluntly, guys, but someone needs to do it. The healing inner work community has gone too soft on you guys, and it saddens me, honestly. That's another episode for another day. But when you trust yourself, other people will trust you. This is a felt sense within you. And with other people, they can pick up on that too. Whether they want to say it out loud or not, whether they're aware of it or not, they can pick up on it. Can I pick up on it, of course, when other people aren't trusting themselves or behaving quote unquote confidently around me? Yes. And you can 100% blame almost 4 years of doing this life coaching and cognitive coaching, for so long with all the experience. Observing people is kind of part of my job here. By the way, my 4-year anniversary is this weekend. I am pretty stoked on that. But getting back to the main point, the stronger you create a sense of self, the more empowered you become to ask the girl out on a date, go for the sale, share your ideas online, lead the date, ask your boss for a raise, and so many other examples I've given on this show earlier. You see, the illusion of reality is that, this is what people tell you here, is that once you find the answer externally, you will feel all good. This is far from the truth. This is really far from the truth. I mean, this is just the illusion. The answers you seek are within you. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by the answers are within you without throwing on a fucking monk robe and dressing all funny? Like, what does that mean? What does that actually mean in a practical way? Well, I mean, you have to undo what is currently blocking your subconscious mind from being able to have you step into who you are to be able to express yourself. You must undo the stories that were conditioned onto you, programmed into you, in order to discover who you truly are. Who are you, man, when you let go of that shame? When you let go of the shame of your own sexuality as a man, once that's been lifted, who are you? Who are you when the guilt of asking for the sale is gone? When those money blocks have been undone? When you do not feel guilty to sit in your chair and say, hey, man, I think you'd make a great fit for my program. I want you to sign on. I would love to work with you. We're going to do some awesome fucking shit together. Who are you when that guilt has been lifted? Who are you when you're not afraid to approach the woman? Who are you when you're not afraid to lead the date with confidence? Who are you when you want to talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about on that date, regardless of the outcome? Who are you when you finally build a life that you desire? Well, maybe the answer to the other side of those questions is pretty damn overwhelming to you. I know it was pretty fucking overwhelming for me. And that's exactly my point here. That's why this process feels so difficult for many. Your mind is attached not to what is good or bad for you. Your mind is attached to what is currently comfortable in your current understanding of yourself and of reality. This is all an illusion that you live in. Our entire society is built off of narratives, perceptions, and stories. And a lot of those stories, not all of those stories, I'm genuinely on board with the story of it is bad to kill people, but it's a story. It is a story. Somewhere during the progression of our society, collectively, we agreed on not going into other people's tribes and killing them and taking their resources. Well, it still does technically happen today, but so much for that, though. I guess on a common societal day-to-day living basis in the Western world, somewhere that narrative was created. And a lot of people will ask me, well, there's nothing wrong with stories. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with stories. I agree. But if those stories are keeping you from really being the wholeness of what is you, well, that's a story that's not good for you, whether you like the story or not. That's not a story that is serving you, whether you think those stories are healthy for you or not. You got to figure out for yourself what your internal values are, be in alignment with that. And if there is a block along the way, you got to face it yourself. You may have to adjust your values. And the goal here is, I'm sure some people got triggered when I said you may have to adjust your values. And the goal here is to not blame society. It's not to call your parents or your teachers or your old classmates or your bullies or your exes pieces of shits who all deserve to die. No, that's not what we're getting at here. But to become aware, that's the point here, to become aware of what's blocking you from feeling comfortable in your own skin again, man. As you fantasize about your business, as you fantasize about the woman of your dreams, the relationship, the dating life, the way you want to express yourself, the way you want to go after what you want, you got to start becoming aware of what's blocking you from creating those things, and then create new fucking narratives that support you in order to create it in your reality. And how do you know when you believe in those narratives? Well, you know when you actually are living them, and that's going to be uncomfortable at first. There has to be a level of misalignment when you are stepping into the new version of yourself, because you are stepping into a new frequency. To put it practically, you're stepping into a different version of you. Of course, your mind and your nervous system are going to pull you back, because that's the job of your mind, unfortunately, to keep you comfortable. And look, if you don't do this work, I can't do it for you. Even if you're doing coaching with me, I can't do the work for you. Your best friend can't do it for you. Your girlfriend can't do it for you. The girls at the bar are certainly not going to do it for you. Nothing against women at the bar. I'm just saying, like, they're not going to fucking do it for you. The market isn't going to change for you. You got to be willing to do it on your own. When you unblock your primal desires for sex and money, you make room to step into higher desires. Because once you know and feel confident in your own skin to be able to create wealth, to be able to have sex, right, to reproduce, and to become resourceful, to put it back in the more primal terms, what comes next? Well, you're going to have a desire to make a positive impact on the world. You're going to have a desire to make that woman that you're dating feel good about herself. You're going to have a desire to create a family and teach those kids that you reproduce new things. You're going to have a desire that's going to step higher into that primal level, or from that primal level, excuse me. But when you consume this information from an unconscious place, your mind associates detachment with not caring. Because a lot of spiritual gurus out there teach detachment. And I fucking love detachment, by the way. But how did I become detached? I became detached by just owning the primal desires first, by letting go of the shame around wanting more money, by letting go of the shame behind wanting to have sex and have plenty of options in the dating world. I had to own that side of myself first. I had to pause the recording and just walk around for a minute. I got really hot in here. I'm not sure it's from all the caffeine I've consumed today. It's been a long day. But I'm back. What were we talking about? Yeah, detachment. Yeah, a lot of gurus out there are going to teach you detachment. And again, I'm all for it. But part of how I was able to own my level of detachment from the outcome was by just owning the fact that I desire these things in the first place. I lifted the shame behind it. I lifted the fear behind it. I lifted the guilt associated with it that society programmed into me. Because listen, you can't tell me or yourself that you do not want money and that you do not want sex. That's not fucking true. That's why I get kind of turned off when people who are new to business are like, well, not my students, by the way. I hold the space pretty well for them. But when people are talking to me just casually and they're like, yeah, well, I really want to do this to help people. It's not about making money. And I'm sure there's some level of truth to that. But like, dude, it's your primal fucking nature to want resources. It's your primal fucking nature to want to have sex. Well, I don't really want to have sex with her. I just really want to love. You can have both. You can own both pretty damn confidently as well when you let go of the shame behind the sex and the money, which again, society installed into you. Let's not bullshit ourselves or anybody else here. We all want resources and we all want to feel confident in our own ability to reproduce with the opposite gender. That's normal. That's okay. Don't lie to yourself. Don't bullshit yourself. Don't bullshit other people. Don't bullshit the girl. But that is where the struggle lies with a lot of men. Because it's uncomfortable, man, facing that shame, facing that guilt, facing that fear. it's uncomfortable. The fear of rejection, the fear of losing your job and the ability to make money, the fear of potentially being seen as a bad person by others, the fear of being seen entirely for who you are, both good and bad based on societal's narrative of what is good or bad, and then finding out that, hey, people may not like the whole you. It's uncomfortable, man. The guilt that you may face within yourself when you decide to really express yourself to the fullest, and certain people start distancing themselves from you because you've changed and they feel more comfortable with an older version of you. The guilt you may feel for making a mistake when other people are trusting your leadership. There's no easy way of putting this, and that's the whole point of this segment right here. Welcome to the discomforts of stepping into your own authentic nature. Embrace it. There's a reason why most of society pushes that shit down and projects onto you not to shine your own light. Because not everyone is ready to do what feels scary, guys. And if you are sick and fucking tired of letting your fears, your shame, your guilt get in the way of what you want, then enough is enough. Let's face those stories. And then let's start creating new ones that are in alignment with the person you desire to be. And if you're lost in this process, if you need help in this process, this is exactly why I built out this brotherhood. Divine Alchemy is a place for men who are stuck and are sick of outsourcing their power onto other people. And they want to start stepping into their most authentic and most confident versions of themselves. They want to feel safe in their ability to do so. You got to feel safe within who you are. That sense of safety must be felt so you can feel comfortable to go after what you want. This community is not just about making more money. It's not just about getting laid with more women. You must first understand that these primal desires within you must not be pushed down. The brotherhood is a place, guys, where you can learn more about what's blocking you from being free and then step into alignment with that freedom. Do we talk strategy? Do we work on ways to help you get you there? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't dismiss the 3D world. I love the 3D world, clearly. Clearly, I fucking love that shit. But there's no skipping steps here. This brotherhood is about facing what's blocking you from making that happen first. Because if you go around chasing more money, going out there dating blindly, you will 100% be in for a rude awakening when it feels like you're pushing yourself against a brick wall and you burn out. Because that brick wall right there is your mind and your nervous system literally telling you there are parts of yourself that you need to look at and recreate in order to become free. No, you don't have to sit there in a bathtub and heal in the name of self-care for another 2 to 3 years before you return back to your mission. No. You just need to feel it, understand what's happening, and then recreate new narratives that will help you be in alignment with that guy that you are working so hard on becoming. We really do live in a world that is truly limitless, guys. And part of my mission, this podcast, my message is to show you that you can break free, that you can unblock the story, that you can create a new narrative, that you can start creating new behaviors, habits, actions that are more in alignment with the new story, and to shift yourself into the man that you are becoming. And with that being said, my friends, I wish you all a wonderful fucking weekend. Go out there, do something uncomfortable, go out there and express yourself freely. When you become detached from all outcomes, you become the man who creates the fucking outcome. Much love, everybody. Peace out. Go out there and kill it. Your life is truly limitless. I'll see you on the next episode.